Hi, this video will show the recipe nutrient report. Go to the report viewer and click on the recipe nutrient report link, and you'll see 5 different parameters on the right. We choose our pet, Spot, and we'll get all of Spot's recipes. So let's just choose beef and potato. And we have a few other parameters. Graph the chart as fed. I'll show this in a minute. Show chart labels and show page footer. So let's just leave this as is. Click submit and we have our report. So let's just zoom in. So here's a nutrient report, beef and potato, and you'll see that we have on the left, we've got our recipe gram weight, the calories, and we have some total figures, the crude protein, total fat, and then a breakdown of the total fat. So the total saturated, total unsaturated, total polyunsaturated, and trans fat. We have total carbohydrate, and we also have a figure here for dietary fiber, the moisture. All these are gram weights, by the way. Ash, total sugars, and we have some sugars. We don't have all, just a few. Sucrose, fructose, and lactose. So over here, we chose as fed, and we've got chart labels. So we can see these are the chart labels, and you can see this in a pie graph here, but the pie graph is going to be the same as this section here, the macronutrient section. So you've got protein 12.90%, and you can see up here that this is protein at 12.90%, and these figures should all match. Um, Also here you've got carbohydrate, and we have a little a 1 beside it. So that 1, you can check down at the very bottom of the report, and you'll see here footnotes, and we've got 1 here. You can see that this figure is calculated. So let's go back up here, and we're going to switch the graph chart to percent of calories. So let's submit it. And here, it's now graphing this column here, percent of calories. So we've got our protein is 42.25%, and you can see that the protein is 42.25%, fat 40.98%. This is the fat. Of course, these are color coded, so if you're this would be good to leave the chart labels alone if you're going to be printing this out on a black and white printer. But if you're just sending a PDF to someone or this type of thing, you could always choose to not show the chart labels. Let's submit it. And here you can see that it's just color coded. So you've got this. So I'm going to just put it back to showing the chart labels. And then here we can also choose dry matter. And the pie chart is now graphing this particular dry matter here. So you see that moisture is 0%. It's not being shown here because there are no figures, and the rest is translated into dry matter, 48.66% protein dry matter and 20.97% for fat in dry matter. Okay, so that's what the pie chart, that's how we graph the pie chart. And if you look down here, you're going to get an energy analysis. So this energy analysis has some very interesting information. The calories per gram is this, and it gives you a few other figures from grams. So grams of protein per 1,000 calories, grams of fat per 1,000 calories, grams of carbohydrate, and grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. And over here, you've got kilocalories per ounce, kilocalories per pound, kilocalories per pound dry matter, and kilocalories per kilogram, and then kilocalories per kilogram dry matter as well. So that's some useful information. And then if we scroll down again on this page, so this is usually a 4-page report. Here we have amino acids, and this report doesn't compare the nutrients to anything. It just takes the recipe as is, whatever you've created, and it's going to give you what the what the nutrients are in this recipe. That's all this report does. So it's a useful report for that. So we can see that with our amino acids, you can see that they're all in grams. And there's a couple of notable things here. We've got glycine, which is something extra. And if you look at the fatty acids, the same thing. These are all in grams, and we have the CLA and GLA, which is extras. Here, this recipe, we don't have any figures, or it has none for CLA. So now we're going to go to the vitamin section. Here, the vitamin A is in micrograms, but it's also translated. I notice how we have vitamin in micrograms or vitamin A from retinol, and this is in international units, and we have a little note here. So you could check down at the footnotes. And this is the value for the vitamin A from retinol or vitamin A from beta carotene. So the beta carotene should be less value because it has to get converted into vitamin A. So you're going to have it'll be less than the retinol. Again, here vitamin D in micrograms or vitamin D in international units. So this is what the translation is here. And for vitamin E, we've got it in milligrams or the natural form of vitamin E, which is D-alpha tocopherol, and this is in international units. And we have a value here, and we also have the synthetic form of vitamin E, which is DL-alpha tocopherol, and you have the figure here. Now since the synthetic form is less bioavailable, this number should be higher. Oh, actually, sorry, this is the synthetic form D, and this is the natural form. So I got that mixed up. So this one should be a higher figure than this. And if you look down at the footnote, it'll tell you, because that can be confusing. So vitamin E, if the product label has D-alpha tocopherol, that's naturally sourced vitamin E, and the synthetic form, here you can see the synthetic form is the DL-alpha tocopherol. So since it's synthetic, that means it takes more of it to equal this amount, this figure here. So don't forget, it doesn't have this and this and this. It's got this or this or this. So here we have the vitamin K, and another notable one is vitamin C. So this tells you what the vitamin C is. And then we have our other vitamins down here. And for the minerals, we've just got the minerals, which are in grams and milligrams and micrograms. So it tells you what the values are. And over here, we've got anti-nutrients. So anti-nutrients are things that you should not have in your recipe: alcohol, caffeine, theobromine. These are all zero values, which is good. And you'll notice that there's a footnote here. If we go down to the footnote, it says anti-nutrients should not be a part of your pet's diet. Values of 0 are good, values above 0 are not good, and ingredients containing alcohol, caffeine, and theobromine should be removed from the recipe. So that's that. And this section here is the ratios. We've got our normal ratios: calcium to phosphorus ratio, and it tells you what it is. Your linoleic acid to alpha-linolenic acid ratio, the EPA to DHA ratio, and here's a notable one: omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And notice how there's another footnote here, 7. So let's scroll down to the footnotes, and you can see that in case you're wondering about how we make the calculations, the omega-6 fatty acids used are these. So you've got linoleic acid, GLA, AA, arachidonic acid, and all these other ones here. And then it tells you what omega-3 fatty acids we're using in these calculations. So you could always, if you need to double check that yourself, you could take a look at this. Okay. And so the last thing I want to show you on this particular report is that it'll show the ingredients used, the amount, the unit, the gram weight, the calories for each ingredient. And of course, here's the ID number that we're using in our database. So just in case you need to reference that. And that's it for this particular report. As fed, let's just switch it to another one, chicken and rice. And here we have all the different reports. So thanks for watching.